So first of all, even before I start, I want to get this right off the bat. I am not from India and I'm not from Pakistan. I am South Asian, but I'm going to leave it up to that. So I want to talk about the match today, but before I hear words from lots of different people about me supporting one team and talking trash about the other team, I wanted to make that straight that I do not belong to either of the countries. So the words and the opinion that I'm talking about is completely unbiased and as neutral as I could get. And I live in America, so it makes me even more neutral, I hope. So about the match today, Australia-Pakistan, of course, one of the best match that I was looking forward to. Bearing the match that's upcoming on Sunday, India-Pakistan, of course, it's going to be a classic, and it is the most anticipated match of the World Cup. We'll come back to that, but yeah, the match today, Australia-Pakistan. Um, it got me very frustrated that like Pakistan does so well, from the beginning. Well, actually, not from the beginning. Like they managed to um, get the innings right. By the end they had the match in their hands. But Pakistan is such a team. Like you can never predict what Pakistan you're going to see in the field that day. Someday they will be the biggest show, and someday they will be really really bad and plain awful. But Pakistan, you can never write them off of any game, any match, any against any teams. They are arguably one of the biggest surprise element in any World Cup or any tournament, to say. Um, as we recall, ICC Champions Trophy that they won, beating all the other teams competing in the tournament. So you can never write off Pakistan, and that's their specialty. They beat the best and they lose against the worst sometimes. But like they are one of my favorite teams, and I feel very frustrated about how things went today in today's match. For example, like cricket is like to my understanding. Although I'm not an expert at all, so I'm gonna apologize right before I even start. I'm gonna get so many things wrong. Because it's been a while since I actually got back into cricket. It's been very recent since I started watching cricket back again. But one thing that I want to point out is, like cricket is all obviously it's not an individual sport. It is a team sport, and it has to be played with a team spirit. And looking at the Pakistan team right now, you can sense and you can see that the team spirit is missing in the team. Although they have got the star players. For example, today Muhammad Amir, he had like one of the best performance that we have seen from a bowler in this tournament so far, and yet Pakistan failed to utilize what the kind of momentum he had built. And kudos to Amir, like after making a comeback, after being written off the tournament, performing to a level that he did today, it's incredible. He's a great bowler, he's a great player, but again, it's a team spirit. And when we lack experience in bowling, like Pakistan team lacks the experience in the bowling department, and and not having those experienced bowlers, you can see like it's not really working out great for Pakistan. Though they managed to restrict the great Australian side to just 307 today, it's still pretty bad. Like the start that Australians had today, at one point, even 400 was not looking impossible. It was looking pretty certain at that point, and it looked like as if they were going to reach there. Luckily for Pakistan, they were able to restrict them down to 307, but even then, like it was a challenge. Mohammad Amir, man, like the guy can do wonders. 10 overs with two maidens in today's cricket, that's insane. With an economy of three, um, and five wicket hauls. Like, dude, I have not seen anyone perform this good in this World Cup or in the recent ODI matches at all. But then, like I said, there has to be a partnership. One man alone cannot make the team win, and which like with today's match, Shaheen Afridi, come on, like he was on the other spectrum. Amir was here, and Shaheen was not even here. he was all the way down, and that's what restricted Pakistan from utilizing or made a big impact through their bowling. Um, Likewise, I want to come back to the batting now. We have really experienced batsmen in our team. We have Mohammad Hafiz, we have Shoaib Malik, but still the guys are not performing. And I want to point out the biggest hurdle that I've seen in Pakistani team lately is they lack confidence. Pakistan team dropped so many catches. They had some awful fielding, and what I don't see in this team right now is the drive, the confidence, and I think that's also I want to point out. It's something that the captain has a big hand on that, and although I really like Sarfraz as a captain, but like he is the guy. I don't want to put the whole blame on him because it's not just him. He simply is the face that takes the blame because he is the captain. But it's a whole team effort, and it's the whole team that is underperforming. Um, it's terrible that how his performance today, especially you cannot expect someone like Wahab Riaz while on the crease to perform better than the captain actually while he's with the while he is in a partnership with the captain of the team. Wahab was performing way better, and he was performing as the demand of that time, the required rate. He was looking everything, and he was trying to get to the target, while they had the ball spare. But I don't know what um, Sarfraz was thinking today. It was totally off. It was totally off, and it's not just him. Imam ul Haq today, we cannot be playing how David Warner was playing a few matches back, when he scored that half century in like 70 odd balls, and I think Imam ul Haq took 75 balls to score 53 runs. That's not acceptable whatsoever. And what I don't understand in this team is why are they not able to move someone up the order if they see that they can perform, they can strike the ball. Like why can't they move them up the order? I have seen like other teams do that. I've seen West Indies do it. I've seen India do it. But why can't Pakistan do the same thing? Like West Indies has Andre Russell, and today we get to see that Wahab Riaz, and it's not the only time Wahab Riaz can strike a ball, and he did pretty good today. He scored 45 of 39, especially for a late batsman. Walking the pitch, especially with so much. So much of the like all the big batsmen not performing. He had so much to do in those limited balls that he had. Even with all that stress, like he was still able to deliver. Why can't we change the order of the team? Why does not the captain or the team management utilize that? We need to, Pakistan really needs to up their um, up their game by taking risk, and they are not simply taking any risk. I really think that Pakistan, especially after watching that match with England, they scored 348 and they defended it against arguably the biggest or the best, the team of this tournament. They are the favorites, England, to win the World Cup, and Pakistan, to everyone's surprise, after losing so bad against West Indies, came back so strong and won the match, And the difference you can see that in that match, from the top order, Imam ul Haq scored, Fakhar Zaman scored, Babar Azam scored, Mohammad Hafiz scored, Sarfraz scored. So if the top order performs, Pakistan does well. If the top order is lacking, then the lower order cannot do anything. But in today's match, although Pakistan did lose their first wicket and the second wicket quite early, they still had a great partnership going on for the third wicket. And then, even then, Pakistan did not, manage to capture the momentum that was going on, especially with, Shoaib Malik coming to the crease. He was not able to do anything, especially like, what they had in their hands. And then Asif Ali couldn't do anything. Um, and one of the disappointing thing about today's match was Sarfraz Ahmed. While he was there in the crease for a long time, he faced 48 balls and he scored 40 runs. That's simply not acceptable. I mean, I do see him taking risk, I guess, but it's not. He needs to really tie the team together. And I want to take example of like Mahendra Singh Dhoni and how he does and how he managed to hold the team together. He comes in the lower order, but when what he does is he manages to strike the ball all over the ground and get those runs on the board. Sarfraz, for I don't know what happened or what happens with him, he cannot do that. Definitely, he should be able to take more risk. Having a different combination. Babar Azam today was looking so good, but who was on the other end? Um, it was Imam ul Haq the whole time, and they simply were not able to coordinate each other. It kind of Imam's underperformance kind of got like covered up through the good like striking that Babar was showing initially, but like it still showed that if let's say Wahab Riaz was moved up the order, maybe things would have been different. Or even Mohammad Hafiz was sent up the order, things could have been different. Um, you know, World Cup now that we look at things, it's a 50 over match, but the way ODIs have been played right now, it's not the same as it used to be back when I used to watch cricket. And people used to strike the ball starting like late 40 in the 40th over, or even in the late 30th over. But now people start striking, as you can see from the other teams, from the first ball they get in the crease. They start striking the ball right away. It's not uncommon to see 100 top like 120, 130 runs being scored right 30, even 20th over, and then scoring less than 5 runs and over now is almost unacceptable. But yeah, this team has so much potential, and I really want them to do well in this World Cup because I know it means so much to the fans back in Pakistan. Like especially cricket being gone from the nation for so long. This team really deserves to get there. And I can speak for not just Pakistan. The South Asian teams, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and especially Afghanistan. It means a lot to these teams. But like when it comes to big pressure situation, there's 5 South Asian nations that's like performing in this World Cup. That's 50%, and yet only one team has been able to perform. So that brings me, that makes me raise question like what's happening. You know, we need to be, as an South Asian myself, I'm putting myself into this. We should be more confident. Like we can be the best out there. We can beat any team, but you know, India, what they have achieved in the past few years is they have grown such a tremendous, competitive and confident team that no matter who they are facing, they still manage to deliver. Um, and one of the close team that I think that can really reach that height is I feel Pakistan can really be there, but I don't know what happens, in matches like these or against the West Indies when the top order fails, there's no one to take the pressure off like what's happening. The initial batsmen fail, then the whole team collides, and sometimes under 100 odd runs, and today 250, 260 runs, and even that was looking uncertain until Wahab came to the crease. So um, just wanted to take this frustration today, and I really hope the rest of the tournament, Pakistan manages to deliver because I know they have such good potential, and I really want them to succeed. Hopefully they do better. I wish them all the best, and let's see. Let's hope for the best.